Good morning. So, we're in and on. Later start to the stream, but still trading early. Actually in a trade at the moment. Entry point was up here, pretty much bang on 1700. It was actually more of a mistake, to be honest, because my entry level was supposed to be up here at sort of 1970-90. But I forgot to put the decimal points in, so we entered square on the button of 1700. So we got quite fortunate to get sticked into it. And then we did have a breakdown here, which is why I've effectively moved the goalposts in the sense that this would be the trade that we'd be taking. But since 9 o'clock candle, we had a big gap as it jumped down. And it's continued to push up a bit, although this rejection, it's hopefully a positive sign. Our stop loss is securely here in profit, small amount of profit in comparison to where we just was, but we're doing okay. I did look back on the time frames actually to see for what this pivot point. So I was sort of aiming just short of this liquidity pivot point, which was a historical one, most recent, should I say. But this pivot point where we've actually hit and rejected is actually a historical pivot point to here back in October. So this low here where this rejection is, that was like an open, so that is where we've come down to and respected this value here. I am hoping that this is just a minor pullback in terms of structure setup, and then it will continue to go down and at least attempt at breaching this liquidity pivot. But it is quite a long drop down to here between these two pivots. We've definitely hit a top there and just fallen. Yesterday, when I was sort of just reviewing, I suppose, not reviewing from the entry point that was up here on the short, and I should have taken it because I even said about the structure, it's dropping down and it's scooping back, and that's the structure to go instead of going long. So we should have actually been in a short, and I would have aimed to this liquidity, and it eventually would have hit it, obviously. Whether I'd have stayed in the trade that long or not is a different sort of issue, matter, whatever. But yeah, so it was a bit silly yesterday. These top wicks actually, these top wicks here would have been very close to my stop loss because my entry point would have been around here for a sell. It would have wicked up and my stop was literally, I think it worked out to be just above the purple bar. The structural, the bearish structure. Looking at this, it's not turning bearish just yet. It's a 15-minute time frame, so we've still got 8 minutes on that, but I'd like to see this drop bearish again. 5-minute candles are flattening out. You can see that they've had their initial surge and they're flattening out and they're top wicking. I'd like to think that that is the sign of rejection to the upside, and it's going to continue to the downside. On the 5 minutes, we do have a few more liquidity pivots to sort of aim for. I'm just going to sit where I am here because this is an equivalent 15-minute liquidity pivot or volume pivot. I don't really know what to call it, to be honest, but it just marks the pivots and the volume or liquidity left behind. So we are in a trade through mistyping. Is all right, I suppose. Yeah. As for analysis wise, I suppose we just jumped straight into the stream on a trade, didn't we? Again, I should have known that this was a short, because we've sort of topped out from that massive bullish run on the daily, and we've pulled up and dropped, and then we're sort of pulling up. This did close as a bullish day, but this big wick, big candle up and down created a big wick on the daily. If I just click onto the daily, zoom in on it so that we can actually. So big run up, then we've had rejection, bearish day, and then this was yesterday. It's clearly a down day. I don't know why I decided to even attempt a long, and then this was that big candle up and down to match that sort of resistance there that I got on the 5 minutes, and then that's that big candle up and down. So we should have known that it was going to be dropping off, coming back down, looking left. I know it's quite small, but we're on 5 minute time frame and I need a lot of data. So looking left, you can see that this is a decent enough pivot point, which is from here, which is where I was saying it's respected to where it is now. But I do feel like it can definitely drop down further to this sort of consolidation or this ranging area. There's a strong pivot point there, which is the same as the bottom of that wick, which is pretty much just on this. Have a look, actually. I think that's where my initial take profit was. So that liquidity was actually, gosh, talk about control your chart. Yeah, so that's the pivot at this level where my first target was, of which we can see that's a top, and then this is a bottom with a bit of structure in the middle of it. It's very hard to see from when it's so zoomed out from your end. Yeah, so that's the top. This is where my initial target was. This is where we've respected, so just short of what that was. And then this again is where we respected that area. But I do feel we could still have a deeper sell-off currently, which will bring us down to this sort of level. But it is a big gap, which is why my target is generally in this sort of area. I do believe we are turning bearish again. And yeah, hopefully that will continue. And it is just making structure. It's broke, pulled back, and then it can carry on to break again. Really, we need a strong break through this first area here. I'm not sure whether I would move the goalposts again. When we break this low here and create new structure, I'm not sure if I would move. Tempted to, but it just feels like such a big jump. Definitely possible. It could do that. Easily just drive and continue to drive down. Tempted, I may just leave. If we break this liquidity, we might just tap into that with a wick and then come back and close back above this, which is respecting that pivot point, or the historical pivot point, which was a resistance, and then it was a support. So it was the resistance and support of very long wicks, rather than just like a standard sort of candle pivot like this. It was a very long wicked move. Okay, yeah, so that's just checking onto the 15 minutes. Obviously this box wasn't here. And then from where entry time was, it was this candle on the 15 minute that created this sort of break of an order block. So like a breaker block for that sense. 5 minutes were up here, this blue one. And then the 15 minutes was quite low with the 15. So I was aiming up here. But you can see that it's respected that 15 minutes quite nicely. The last 30 seconds of this 15-minute candle closing bearish, which is a good sign. We need that to continue being bearish. That's quite a small candle. This last 5 minutes doesn't fill me with too much confidence. So, given the gap here, the lack of wicks, like anyone who says about fair values or voids or anything, this is a huge sort of void that needs to be filled with a sell-off. Then if it doesn't, it's respecting that to come back to it at a later date. So we'll see how this candle forms. I'm requiring a bearish candle. This top wicking, bearish candle, which means it's taken from this big candle here as like the source of the structure. Similar to here, we've come up to the top, we've wicked, we've got a big bearish candle, and then we've wicked to it. Which means we've taken from the source of the structure and broke, and then we broke the structure. So we need something like that from this candle to be bearish. Not the best start. Still no bottom wick. Don't really want it going much higher than that. Like even this, though it's bullish, this candle with the long wick has absorbed these sort of orders there before that break. Similarly, like these ones have absorbed that. But really, if this turns bullish, there's not much stopping it to continue up a bit higher. It may still stay bearish as an overall trend, but there's not much stopping it from reclaiming some ground, maybe up to this structure. We'll see. Minute 29, it could quite easily move quick enough to drop and close bearish. Part of me feels if it's not bearish, then I'm just going to be closing the trade. Doesn't look to be, and we've still got a minute left on this candle. Potential that it's going to take like a surge one way or the other.
Why me? You don't even know me. Because what I've seen, I've liked. And I got a good feeling about that.
Last 30 seconds. Okay.
And on the count of 3.
So I have brought my stop loss pretty much to there. It's effectively a close. I just want to give it a chance to push down. We did have a bullish here, and it respected the high of that bullish wick and then still broke down. There's a chance it may be doing that. It doesn't seem to be. Like, to me, that's new structure breaking to the upside, like I was explaining about orders being sort of taken to the downside. 9 o'clock candle started. Big gap, push down, so that's creating a nice bottom wick for that hourly candle. Just this open, it opened here, so there's a gap between the close of this and the open of that. It pushed down instantly, respected that historical pivot, didn't make any liquidity. And then it's continued to obviously correct itself. But we're just going to give it the chance to turn bearish again. On this hourly, we've still got 8 minutes on that, so it can drive that far back down quite comfortably. At that 5 minutes, it's only to here. So the distance is only the size of the last couple of candles, plural. So yeah, just give it that chance to go bearish. news-wise or catalyst-wise, I suppose you could call it. Tuesday, 10 o'clock, some euro. Actually, that's in the next 5 minutes. That could be why we had so much volume. Around, maybe? No, it's too early, possibly. Well, in the next 6 minutes we'll find out, because sometimes the euro has volume effect on gold. And then, yeah, so dollar-wise, 12.30, we've just got some speakers. Nothing really major, same sort of thing, just more speaking. So nothing major, but just with all the speaking and the meetings and everything that's going on, could sort of set the tone for a bias, which feels to be selling. So we've closed slightly bearish with a wick on that 5-minute candle there. We didn't break that low, so we didn't even create. This is the last candle for the 15-minute candle. So if this drives down, which would be really, really nice for this, we'll end up with a long wick 15-minute candle that closed bearish. Be really good. And then that'd be right on the hourly that it could be. We can close down and fill this gap maybe. Like close past it. It's a bit of an ask. But last 5 minutes before 10 o'clock euro news, go either way. I'm just going to mute for a bit while I munch on some cheddars. Right. Euro news released. I don't know how. I feel like it definitely put a bit of volume into the gold market. It doesn't always. It's normally just the dollar that affects it. But I feel like gold is on its turning point for coming back down again. People would start realising this. People are going to start selling off the gold that they've been buying. We'll see. See how it goes. I'd love to break these lows though, like closing below these lows. Start sort of closing in and past this wicks. Similar to here, we were respecting it and then we started closing below it, and then that was it. We sort of closed through the wick. Got some aggression to that tune, isn't it? Okay, well, outcome was as expected. The PPI. I don't actually. All I do is read it. I don't actually know what it is or what it means, but some choose to educate in that respect. I've been down that wormhole and I spent more time obsessing over the news and what potentials and could mean and everything like that, that it just completely clouded any sort of like judgment or awareness or anything like that on the chart, because I was not driven by news but effectively driven by news. Oh, it's a catalyst, it's going to make it move, let's trade, let's look at it, let's this. I like to check it now just to see if there's any potential for movement, but I don't use it as my catalyst or not signal, but you know. Okay, so we filled that we filled the 9 o'clock gap on open, and we filled this buy order imbalance. This effectively is like an order block that charged, created a gap as well. So as to how deep we come down into here, I don't know. It'd be nice if we just push straight past it. But minute 50 left. The behaviour on this candle is saying that it's just collected the imbalance there slightly, and then it's pushing up. But we've got our stop loss set. It's quite keen at the minute. But I think if this one does close bullish, then I am going to close my trade. Just from what I was saying a second ago about collecting and picking up some of this sort of imbalance, there's potential just like buy orders still sitting in here. It's just coming back to clear the imbalance, and then it's going to go. I mean, that is in 30 seconds. That's not going to suddenly drop bearish, is it? So close out of that. I mean, it's probably going to drop down But I wanted to insta close in case it, well, it is going bullish, but in case it sort of just had a quick charge bullish, just to get those extra few pipperoonies. Don't know why I said it like that. The extra few pips. Probably the inner parent coming out on me, making up silly words for the kids and stuff. I mean, there is a high chance that it's just going to top wick and drop, but like I was explaining about the source candles for the structure breaks have kind of been, all the orders are picked up. This one, and then all the orders are picked up, and then this one it's picking up orders, and we've had a bit of a volume upset. You watch, it's gonna go all the way down now. It's just picked up this imbalance, which means there's nothing left, and then it can just go straight through it all. Right, either way, I mean, that's still 33 pips, I suppose. I don't know. Good enough. Let's delete that. I mean, it's a trade that I wouldn't have been in if I hadn't have made my error, so I'll take the win for that. I just feel like, though, if we're going to get a new structure, we're going to be waiting a while for that, and then it's at a dangerous pivot. So if we get structure here, if we break that, if we break below this, let's say there, we're very close to like a high rejection pivot point. So entering that short, it's not necessarily risky, to be fair, just because of the bias being very sell-off like, which is probably going to do. We just jumps the gun with nerves by seeing that long bottom wick. Even if we matched level, I probably could have moved my take profit to here. Given that this is a respected pivot from historical data, it may come back down just to retest it, as this is effectively like an order block, say. So it will retest it and then it will push. But then there's too many what ifs and predictions and everything, so I'm just gonna stop talking and watch. Right, some curtains open and everything, keep the computer plugged in. Not my computer, my laptop. Sun's right in the corner of the middle of the window. Give it an hour or so. I reckon in an hour it will probably have moved round a little bit. I'll be able to crack one side with the curtains open anyway. Well, it seems well that's a small bullish candle, that last 5 minutes. Did close bullish. There you go, yeah. I mean, it might respect those wicks to the left slightly. Might respect this area. Oh. No. The only thing that really caused my reservations was this bullish rejection. It cleared the break. It is turning bearish though. Halfway through this candle, 2.5 minutes on it. Closest break is up here. About on 15 minutes. So yeah, 15 minutes. Broke out here. We had 9 o'clock. Respected it. 10 o'clock. A little bit of news outcome, and it's just tested it again. So maybe I could have just held my nerve. Looking at that structure, although it's got slightly messy, like in terms of a lot of wicks rather than just a solid direction pushing down. Bigger pullbacks, bigger wicks to check. Is what it is. I mean, that's a nice 5-minute candle for bearish momentum, that's for sure. Still got a minute till it closes, so a lot could change, but that has a little surge and closes back down into this wick area. Sort of reinforces that bearish nature. It is forming in a bearish nature. Maybe I jumped the gun closing the trade. Okay. Closed without even having a wick on it. That is a strong bearish candle. Not very big, but it did respect the open close level here. So there is that. It closed further in to this wick. It is tracking downwards. Okay, the wicks have pretty much met equal lows. I do feel like it's going to carry on though. Don't think it's going to stop there. Should have just trusted myself, man. Actually, why is it? You know, following the actual structure, following the general bias of the market, everything like that. Get into a trade and close it. And then when I'm going against it, leave it open and it becomes a loss. Trader's mentality.
Go against the grain, push it, roll up with your mans, pull up, never gonna fold, go on, gonna get it swole, move on, paint a perfect picture, should call my man, wasn't fucking with you, now I'm the man, now they keep requesting, we in demand, homies in the section, we is demons, kill for the art, make a new culture, kill for the art, beauty so far, not bound by rules, not bound by fools, follow that shit, now they ran out of fuel.
See how high up I can get this desk. Oh, it's about as far as I can go. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Get higher than that. Just the cable on the camera. Too tight. Not long enough. That stretches too far, and I can't raise it. Get an extension for it, but I will. Might like to stand up.
Copy paste, wasn't that what's his face? From the same old place, same old, with the same old taste, in the same old race. Water rap, running with no chase. Fame on, with the same old case. Lame on, why is it that his name's so great? When he came on. Tell him to look at themselves. Sheepish is who that is spelled. Now they're from busting for help. Middle finger, now it's doubt.
Last minute, turning bullish. It's almost respecting that zone as like support, isn't it? On that hourly candle, complete doji actually. Really. And it's wicked down, so it could go bearish. Like it could see that hourly as a doji, and then make like a bullish back up to here, be a sign of reversal. But then on the hourly, it's like a breaker, isn't it? Which is checked once, so it could come up, check it twice. But likewise, it could continue. Blah 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 blah. It's just complete flatline on that 15 minutes. Literally closed at exactly the same. It opened. Ooh. I mean, it does look like it's creating its bearish, bearingish. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's creating that bearish flow because this previous candle. Get this out of the way. Lines are doing my head in. So we got this bearish candle. Probably started with this one, but it did long wick. But this bearish candle was closed nicely into these wicks. So then this one would be pick up of orders from here, confirm that bearish and selling off sort of flow. Originated from this one. Well, originated from this one, picked up, dropped, and now it's just that final bit 'cause it's closed in these wicks of rejection. And then I think the final confirmation would be a close below these wicks of supported areas. And then we should see a drop because there's some big candles here. So we should see a drop. But it's just like resisting that. It's almost like the door's open, but it's not quite walking through it yet. Very interesting bullish candle there, isn't it, hey? Literally, as the 30-minute candle closed and the next one opened. It definitely didn't want to break this, did it? Well, we would be close to our preliminary loss at that point. Not even preliminary. What am I saying? Our adjusted from where we moved the goalposts. It would appear that this is creating bullish structure. As to where the breaker block would kick in, I'm not really sure. We've had a sort of respecting the pivot there, the historical pivot that I was talking about earlier. I mean, seeing that just sort of confirms that we're alright for closing where I did. Yeah, look at that. As huge as that buy candle is, like, that's ridiculous for the time of day, for the lack of catalyst, everything like that. But it just wouldn't break this low. Just kept respecting it, and then it got to the point where the candles were so close to it, it's either going to break, and it did, but to the upside. So again, we're back to sitting and waiting for structure to reform. As tempting as it would be, I think, to chase the buy. Just look how far it's come down. Like, it's all the way out there on Friday. No. But it is in the daily breaker. So. I much prefer the colours than the orange.
Got a party in my club, let's go round and round. Baby dollars ain't a problem, just drop to the ground. Just one call, it's all it take to pull up to my town. Too much posy, I ain't got no time to feel so down. Too much icy, I might fuck around and make a blind. Too much icy, I just glide, I don't walk around. Check the sky, that's my guy, yeah, he falling down. Now they coming running all up in my fucking sound. Fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound.
Okay, so we've definitely got a bit of volume kicking into the market. The candles are bigger. Oh, sorry, just punched the microphone.
Once again, flowing through my hands, yeah. Once again, money getting spent, yeah. All your fans just been flashing hands, yeah. She ain't shook, I got too much brands, yeah. Pop Montana just to feel less, hey, yeah. She just wanna get a G-bless, hey, yeah. Rock designer and a headband, yeah. That's where I keep all my pills, Too much icy, I might fuck around and make a blind. Too much icy, I just glide, I don't walk around. Check the sky, that's my guy, yeah, he falling down. Now they coming running all up in my fucking sound. Fucking sound, 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 fucking sound. Now they coming running all up in my fucking sound. Fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound, fucking sound.
So I remember me and my brother Bob's went to Federal with my dad. He loved music too, so I listened to a lot of island music as well as classical, blues, soul, a number of different genres of music. And music really continued in the house. I love jazz, and I love piano. So that's where I started playing percussion. So I remember me and my brother Bob's went to Federal with my dad. And he loved music too, so I listened to a lot of island music as well as classical, blues, soul, just a number of different genres of music. And music really continued in the house. I love jazz and I love piano, so that's why I started playing professionally.
Right, while we're sitting here not doing much, I'm going to go make myself a quick cup of tea.
Out of breath, I don't know how to keep up this pace now. You once said you would follow me there if I got there. Down on my knees, I kinda
Did you like the close up at the top of my head?
searching peace.
Yeah, sorry about that. I saw it and then thought, sod it, I'm committing. Oh dear. I'm so tempted to. I don't know what I'm tempted to do. I keep thinking about having my stream on Twitch. Just to see if it's any different in terms of viewership. I'll sit here every day just nattering to myself.
Long way left, but you don't seem to care much about that. Step by step, you always make sure that we are both intact. Humble grace, I'm counting blessings at the edge of my hands. Your embrace keeps me standing upright when I can't see the end. I don't get how you putting up with me, all that I say and the shit I got on me. I forget that I shouldn't be 15, playing around like it up with something. But I don't get how I forget why. What are you seeing me? Why? Don't get why.
I wonder. Oh right, yeah. Did it put it on? It did put it on. Um. All right. I can't remember. Just having a look at an old indicator that I found that sort of. Yeah, they're all like that. It follows the VWAP really. And gaps. Let's just turn these off for the minute. So it's what about 5 minutes? What, 0.1? Yeah, it's too much. It's not going to work. So it's basically like a VWAP pivot point marker. Generally, it just sort of shows this is far too busy. What if we made that 5? No, I'm just going to get rid of it. So just ticking into the 11 o'clock. Just see what this hourly did. Oh, look at that. It's about the same as the previous one. It's definitely not sure whether it wants to carry on down or come back up. Feels nice to have got a little trade out though for today, given how it's yesterday was pretty horrible, and given that the last couple of hours haven't actually gone anywhere, I've managed to catch a movement. Still feels like it's going to push down though. The structure's getting messy. Like it's not like a clean break, up, down, up, down. It's like it's messier around here. And then again, if it breaks to this and creates like a bearish breakdown, like I said earlier, I mean, it's potentially going to have some strength because of this messy area. It's like accumulating to then break and go. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I might not even get another trade today. I don't know. There's no real impact in news. The only thing is, it's like if it clears this, don't know. Let's have a look and say, oh my god, this microphone. I keep moving it and then I keep punching it. I don't know what I've done with it. It's probably because I'm sitting on the lower chair. Move it back. Sorry if it's making loads of horrible noise. Let's go with it there. I'm just going to say, let's check on the 1 minute. So yeah, even on the 1 minute. I mean, if this breaks to the downside, then it might give us a structure break, but then this is like a minor order block, so it'll have a structure break here, collect these orders and just reject it, and it could push all the way back up to there. So
Like stars that shine in darkness glows so bright. You once told me I'd have to dim my light. My mystic being held by gravity. I almost let you hold me back from
Actually, I'm starting to break that. Okay, so the 1 minute, yeah, oh, can't really see it. Well, on my monitor, can't see it, but on here I can. So I've actually got where that box is. There's a break box. Break it like as in an order block in here. Which is understandable because this has been a support level, been tapped, tap, 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 tap. Had bullish rejections each time. Well, that's obvious because it's gone back up and it's respected it, but I meant more in terms of the candle structure. But now it's broken it to the downside.
flew up to the sky. I used to give in, but now I'd ask you why. Say I'm different, let your words run out. But I'm not desperate for your approval now. Oh, me and my shadow learn to let go. Oh, bury my fears now, stirring the flower. Keep falling, falling, keep falling, falling.
Oh yeah. Depending on where this sort of candle closes, about to close now, which puts us at 2 minutes left on the 5 minute. There's no real top wick on that 5 minute candle. Kind of come to the conclusion maybe to not trust the 1 minute so much. I feel like this bullish move may have created a 1 minute break. Let's have a look. Let's check, see what we did. So we're pushing down, yeah, pushing down. We found our lower level of support. That went to be bearish. If we'd entered bearish, we would have lost. There you go. That broke bullish. You'd be like, okay, yeah. Strong bullish up. Slow consolidation down as the price adjustment. Found support, bullish break. You'd expect that to stay bullish. Respected it and turned bullish, and then bang. On again. And now it's bearish with a bearish break, which I think is fine because we're expecting bearish entries. Entries to the downside. It's now tapped into that breaker absolutely perfectly. Is the last minute on this. There you go, 5-minute candle, and now we've got a bearish break on the 5 minutes. Nice to know that we were right there. Just analyze it. I think it's because this was the 5-minute close. Let's see where the 5-minute breaker is. Okay, so the box hasn't shown. I mean, I wouldn't take it anyway, I don't think. Not this close to the source of a big bullish move after finding support and breaking up. Like, it could just be a deeper pullback to confirm that it is bullish. And then that 5-minute there is just tapped into there. Again, if we check back on that 1 minute, yeah. Squeaky whiny song. Well, I wouldn't say song, but yeah, so there you go. Perfect entry. Confirmation from the 5 minutes, had a pullback, tapped into it perfectly, and then we'll be away. Again, just to explain my reservation for the, because it's quite aggressive to take this entry in my eyes. As much as we're looking for a, a sell, it feels too aggressive. Then we're back in that zone. It's just going to shoot through, and now it's broke it and tested. Support and resistance, guys, that's the support level. It's broke, retest, enter. There's no Fibonacci, shall we say. I mean, maybe from here to here, that's about 50%, so that's like the 618 or whatever they call it region. Tested, sell. My concern is just this: if it's an order block and it's a historical pivot that was very strong, met with a long wick historically on the last time we tapped this price, that could just be a hold fire, pullback to sell. But as I was explaining earlier, it can run quite easily. We're in bearish momentum, run, keep going, or it could just range and pivot. So we've got this that is pivoted. We could hit this, which is still a liquidity pull from a more recent pivot. Could hit that, could collect all of that, pull back up to around this area. Then it could come back down, or it could carry on up higher, pick up some orders here, because like I was explaining, a lot of these have all been taken. So it could just hit that and go and make it back up to this early morning break, which feels kind of weak given the amount of candles that are consolidated within this breaker block. Just it drove away very strong, so it didn't pull back to it. It pulled back to the, I suppose you'd call that like an order block in the middle of the move, which happens quite a lot. You get a breaker block that's quite busy, it's generally quite weak, but if the momentum is downwards, you want to look for the one candle that goes the opposite way to the breakout, and that is a very good point of target for entry. You don't necessarily always get it. Like this was a breakout, but there was no candle in the middle that was bullish. So it pulled back up to the source, or the origin of the breakout, or the freshest order block that hadn't been fully cleared. Let's just chuck one of these in. Yeah, see that? I mean, it feels like a doable target because there's such a big gap between these pivots. Because historically, there was a big bullish surge before it came back. I mean, it seems reasonable to aim there. Probably stretch it just a little bit to this liquidity pivot. Stop loss isn't too bad, but it is in a high wick zone. So if it does want to correct itself and maybe pick up from up here, you've got a chance that there might just be a little blip on a wick or something and it takes you out. And again, it could just pivot at any point from here, even from here maybe. Yeah. We've got to win. I don't want to chase it. There we go. We're getting another. That's in the 1 minute. We've got a breaker there. So we've hit that initial order block break. Now we've got the structure break. The structure check. It's going to close bullish by the looks of it. Of course, we are going down, so we're looking for sells, which is obviously why on that 1 minute earlier when we had this break, would have been this big bullish candle here. It was 2 candles that sort of pushed up. That's why we're not looking for that buy entry. We are waiting for the structure to break to the downside to then enter into the trade. But again, we're on 5 minutes and we've got no actual blocks drawn in. Whereas on the 1 minute, we are comfortably getting order block break, market structure break, and then it closed respected. See, it's just tapped it. And we're going back down again.
I used to wanna pull up on you every night on my way back home, thinking about you on a flight. Always gotta watch my back, 'cause you know
It's close to that point where it would either dilute. That's not the word I want to look at. I'm trying to say. It's close to that point where it's either going to respect this order block and pivot point historically, or break. And then if it breaks, and come down to any of the other pivots that we've got on the 5 minute. Down here, down here. I mean, it is still, you know, pointing towards bearish momentum. So, and from our initial entry, what was we at? I think this one here, 1700 exactly, or 1900 was it? 1970, yeah, 1970 dead. That was it. So we actually caught the very top of this. 1970 is there. So I could have just hung out, you know. The stop loss was all the way up in here. My sort of 20 pip or whatever it was. 200, something like that. Ticks. Ticks, possibly. Oh. I'm tempted to put my entry in on that point anyway, actually, and just see what happens. If it comes back to that point. But just hesitant for the reasons that I was literally just explaining. It doesn't fully seem to be... I mean, it is respecting this breaker, like the structure, but then it's very busy. There's a lot of candles in it. So we broke the order block structure, but then to me this doesn't feel like market structure in the sense that we've got a nice sort of curve down and it's broken it and it's stepping down and down and down. Created it slightly so you can come down, up, down, and then broke, checked. It is checking again. There's a chance it's going to come back up to this point. The wick at the bottom there, they are bearish. And then these are bullish candles. Although the wick's at the top, so like almost like a rejection point, like it's went to buy but it sold off, went to buy but it sold off. We'll need like a secondary rejection like it's doing. You'd get a big bear candle that covers these three off, and then it sort of confirms again. I mean, this is doing what I wanted it to do, where it's closed inside this wick as a 15-minute time frame, because it found support where this one closed and it's not broke it in terms of a close or an open point, like even with a gap for it to open. So it jumped down and opened and then went bullish, but one last minute on this 5-minute candle. "30 seconds now, actually. Oh, that's a big punch. I just don't know what to do with my microphone. Like, it's just in the way of my monitor. I don't know why. Like, I never normally punch it. I don't know why I'm punching it now. Maybe I can... I have to mute it to do this. Alright, let's try that. Like miles up in the sky. Looks probably a bit weird on the camera, but I feel like if I have it lower, like around the desk in my hands, I'm just going to punch it. Plus if it's up there, it's out of the way of the screens. I reckon you can still hear me alright. The volume pick up on the software, streaming software, says it's fine still, so... Give that a go. Probably just have to make sure that I talk towards it rather than away from it. But I reckon if I spoke like this... I don't know, it still picks up if I'm looking the other way, but... Anyway. I'd have waited for like a big bullish push off of this point. I feel like we're, I don't know, flattening out. How would I describe it? Oh, I didn't want to move that. Where are we? This is the last minute on the half-hour candle. And then the 1 hour is actually, yeah. Let's go in for that last minute. This is well, because it's only half an hour. This is what the half-hour candle is going to look like anyway. It could be that it's, you know, it's broken. Got some orders. Wasn't sure what it's doing. Enough sell pressure. It keeps going down to about here. Tell you what, let's box that. Okay, so it appears on that one there, which again is it's a liquidity area that I was, or a pivot area that I was aiming at. My initial take profit was about here. So is that the bullish move that I was expecting? Or is this just going to be a top wick for a half-hour candle that checks into this breaker block area? Then carries on driving to complete the bearish hourly candle lower than the previous low. What I was expecting to happen came down to the source of this. If that's the order, perfectly on the average line of the candle, it's gone. I still feel though that, like what I was saying, where it's just going to come up again to check this area, because we did get a 5-minute breaker even though the box didn't show up. Got a couple of 1-minute breakers. Not going to show it on the 15-minute because it didn't break this low, but it was quite strong and it closed inside this wick. So there is a chance that it's going to come back up to where the entry would have been. Then continue dropping, but this is an hourly. This is, yeah, like a pivot of liquidity there. So there's quite a lot of buy orders that were sitting there. If it charges down, it could just wick reject and then
Who do you see on the side? Either your hands or your mind. How many times have you lied? How many times have you tried?
right, there you go.
Both of us know it's your fault. That you need to fall back. Yeah.
Seconds left on that candle and it's just dropped. It's like a double check with the wicks, just to check, pick up some sells eventually.
Tryna rocket with you, baby. Tryna get it started with you, baby. All you want is August and you, baby. My flight just departed for you, baby. Semi-automatic from Cupid. Drunk in love, it got me dumb, stupid. I'm what you want, I'm the one you need. Keep it on the low. How low can you go? Might get to it on the floor. Yeah, I'm too wasted. I'm gone, faded, did it, made it. Diary, shit, fantasy on the side. Either your hands or your mind. How many times have you lied? How many times have you tried? I don't need you, baby, no. Both of us know it's your fault. I just need to fall back, yeah. I'm not waiting on your call back, yeah. Money will bring that alcohol back, yeah. All your drunk face, you can hold that, yeah.
I saw you this time for real. I know that this is not a dream, no. I can see myself looking like an angel. This can't be true, I'm in denial. I've been dead all along. I thought that I was wrong when I saw you, but now I know it's true. This time it's for real, oh. This time I can feel you, feel you, feel you, feel you, feel you,
There you go.
I saw you this time for real. I know that this is not a dream, no. I can see myself looking like an angel. This can't be true, I'm in denial. I've been dead all along. I thought that I was wrong.
There it goes.
But now I know it's true. This time it's for real. Oh, this time I can feel you, feel you, feel you, feel you, feel you, feel you,
Well, going by the way that this is closed quite far into it, I feel like it is going to continue down. So it's probably going to want to respect the break. Well, I'm not sure why, but my mouse decided to unplug and reconnect, but not connect and work, so I don't know. Well, if I'd set and forget my first trade from this morning, we would have just hit into our take profit there. But it is pulling back like I sort of feared it would. Tapping into this breaker now though, so they're going to respect it. They're going to go all the way through it. 1 minute we've come back into this one. Okay, that's at this point really where it's the turnaround, if it's going to turn around. Just put that box there just to see, to mark out where the 1 minute breaker is. How do we feel? I mean, it's holding itself there, so it's like respecting that break point. And there you go, yet again. So far proving to respect that break point. See, previously I probably would have entered up here on this 1 minute break. But I don't know, because it didn't show on the 5 minute, we didn't show the block. And again, like I was explaining about the potential pivots and pivots and pivots. I mean, yeah. Hey, pulling itself all the way back to there instead of last 20 seconds. microphone looks like some sort of like. It looks giant, doesn't it? Compared to the size of my head. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's 12:30, the first speaker. I think I'll hang out for just a little bit more and then see if I can move the microphone to like here. Does that work? I think so. Yeah, I can't see it. Just delete these boxes off. Last one. Can't see us trading much more today. This could have been an entry, but you can see it's held up here. Respected the breaker, but rejected back up. Now it's hanging around there. High chance that it will just push down, but there might just be a little bit of this. Move, a little bit of this, move. Yeah. 2.5 hours on stream. Started stream late, but caught a good trade this morning, so I'm doing alright for the day. Yeah. I know I'm going silent, not saying anything, but I'm just considering, like, finish the stream, keep the stream. I'll give it like another 20 minutes or so, see what happens, and then I think I'll call it an end. Okay, there you go. It's respected that break. Go, making another breaker. Just a great day for reading the cell structure, isn't it? There goes another 5-minute breakup. Should have entered when I was up there. I could have just held on. I'd stayed in my trade from all the way up here this morning. I'd have got the whole day down. Do I risk it? Do I risk it? I feel like I'm now too deep into it. Okay, now we're making this order broken. Yeah, so I was right, we've come back down, we've broken that long rejection, we're breaking this order.
Time passed me by. It's why I'm sitting on my phone all afternoon. But who am I to even try to make a difference when the world is probably ending soon? Everybody saying they're an individual, but all we do is trying not to be invisible. We're doing dances, trying to find the love we never could. Wanna look at it a little more critical, 'cause we're the generation who can make the pillars fall. What are the chances? I'd say they're pretty good.
You know, if I had $1,000,000, I'd spend most of it on my friends and instead I watch just where it sends. I'm counting down the hours. I leave the songs that we're out here waiting.
And when I said you're the world ain't changing, everybody saying they're an individual, but all we do is try not to be invisible. We're doing dances, trying to find the love we never could. Wanna look at it a little more critical.
So is it respecting that order? Because when it broke down, it obviously broke the order block.
I'd say they're pretty good. Everybody saying that we need a miracle, but no one seems to think the kind of thing is feasible. We're doing dances, trying to find the love
Is it gonna... Like, I partly feel like I should have been in this trade.
We had a barbecue in San Tropez in May with some friends drinking booze, getting all loose. We drove the cars to the beach on the outside of the street, sat around a bonfire, eating marshmallows all night. We were young at time, I know it, but you were so damn fine. Couldn't get you on my mind. We were young at time, I know it, but I wanted something more than you. 'Cause you wanna be free for summer.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna call the end of the stream. Let's delete that off. Come back for some trading tomorrow. Not sure there's a stream tomorrow though. Actually, there might be a stream tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, thanks for watching. No one watched. Yeah.